And we are live, I think.
So the
Lies.
last picture we got was the chimpanzee trying to stick the cork back in.
Okay, it's been a long-standing tradition on this little live stream that Jim and JimJim try to give me an aneurysm. I am now going to return the favor.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. For a quick little technology lesson, Pilatus makes an aircraft called the PC-12.
Yeah.
PC-12 Next Gen. If you take the PC-12 Next Gen and you add about $20 million of cutting edge intelligence equipment, you get what's referred to as Uniform 28-Alpha Draco,
Yep.
which is the cutting edge intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft in the world.
Yep.
Well, we might have just possibly accidentally left 23 of them on the ground in Afghanistan.
24.
Yeah, the chat beat you to it.
What?
The chat beat you to it.
Chat beat me to it?
Yeah.
Bastards.
Yep.
That
It's not the airplanes that's the problem.
it's the gear on them.
Yeah.
You're on board, yeah.
Yeah. That 28 million or 20 something million, it's not 20 something million dollars worth of intelligence kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hello, all. And we do have all.
Good God.
We do not have a full roundtable today because,
We have a standard round table.
yeah, we have a standard roundtable. Everybody's kind of filtering off to various places.
John is waiting on the gas guys to show up.
Now the gas guy showed up. There's a leak, so she's now waiting on the plumber.
Oh. I offered to bring gas over last night. We had Mexican food.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Now that it's over, we kind of talk about what went down yesterday. A good friend of ours passed away, and yesterday was the memorial service for him. So that's why everybody was in town, and we made a trip down to the Dallas area for that. One of the interesting things that came out of it is the gent that we had the memorial service for is a longtime peace officer,
40 years.
40 years,
Mhm.
and a shooter. And the preacher got up and said a prayer and turned the memorial service over to the gun store owner.
Because
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes.
If you'd known Johnny, that made perfect sense.
Yeah. And the stories were interesting.
Oh God.
Now this is not your sports academy gun store.
No.
This is a classic gun store where there's a table of chairs over in the corner for everybody to sit at.
Yeah.
Drink coffee and bullshit, while various kids wander in and oogle the.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a barber chair.
Yeah. That Johnny captured. But one of the funny stories that came out, a good friend of Johnny's is a guy named Ashley Emerson, who's rather famous in the gun world.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Ashley just developed the excess sights.
Yeah.
The excess sight system. He
And
now owns Garrett Ammunition.
Garrett Ammunition. And he's also developed a few other things for various and sundry organizations, companies, and people, including knives.
He also writes.
Yes,
He's writes for several magazines.
right.
The
And
boy's busy.
yeah,
Yes.
we got to talking yesterday, and this is a no telling what people are going to show up with story.
Oh, no kidding.
So he said he got a call from a buddy of his with a gun store. Said, "Hey, had this old man come in with a old Colt, and he didn't think we offered him enough money for it. Would you take a look at it?" And he said he had something else wrapped up in a towel I didn't even bother to look at. So Ashley goes, "Sure." So safer church and preacher man stories, man, not so much, Josh.
No.
Well, those were actually at the wake afterwards, but yeah, no. So Ashley said this old man shows up, hands him the pistol, kind of grumps about the value of it. Ashley said he looked at it and said, "Well, it's an old Colt, it's been used hard." He said, "I got one in the safe, I'll sell you for $600. It's in a hell of a lot better shape." Pulls it out and hands it to him. The guy goes, okay. He says, you want to take a look at this? Hands Ashley the towel. So he starts unfolding the towel, and he sees this really weird front sight on this pistol. Huh. Yeah. Damn. Say 7.5 inch long, target model, Fosbury, Webley Fosbury, which is a Grail gun
Oh, no kidding.
for many collectors. And the old man says, well, it doesn't shoot, something broke. Now, for those of you that have never seen or heard of a Webley Fosbury, it's a automatic revolver.
Yes.
So it's recoil operated. The entire top half of the frame slides back, and it rotates the cylinder automatically.
Yeah, it's the groove system of the cylinder is amazing.
Yeah.
How they
It's a zigzag, isn't it?
Yeah. But how they work it is just amazing because it's when it hits the back, it's got to index a little bit to get the zag.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll just go in the same groove.
Yeah.
And it's just how you find that.
Yeah, but this it was designed in 1902. No, it wasn't, Josh. I'll tell you that story in a second. And the trigger pull on it was exactly the same every time, which was absolutely perfect for target shooting, because that's one of the big things is repeatability. So he said, this is worth about $2,500 broke. But he said, and there's a little rust on it. He said, Turnbull can clean that up. And he said, you know, cleaned up this gun, $10,000, $12,000 at least. And he said, the old man said words to the effect of, I'm 82 years old. $2,500 in hand is a hell of a lot better than whatever went.
Is this kind of like the same vein as life in prison is taking less and less of a penalty to me?
So Ashley calls a buddy of his who's a big time Webley collector, and he says, oh, hell yeah, I'll give him $2,500, because Ashley knows this guy probably has the parts
to fix it.
Yeah.
And he tells the guy again, you know, this is worth a lot more, Matt, $2,500. You know somebody that wants it, sounds like you do. Here, send it to him.
That's a Jim Curtis level deal.
That is Jim Curtis level deal.
He actually said, he says, what about paying you? He said, oh, hell, I trust you.
You'll give me the money.
Typical West Texas. You never know what's going to come out of the
No, you really don't.
With a paper towel.
I can't believe that Ashley had never heard of the gun collection at Panhandle Plains.
No, he hadn't.
Yeah, which
That's
frankly
odd.
amazed me.
Yeah.
That man is all leg.
Yeah.
I swear to God, his legs are longer than Rita is tall.
If I had gotten his contact information, I would have sent him the contact information for the curator of that museum.
But the other thing he said, apparently Elmer Keith's number 5 is coming up for auction.
Yeah.
He's going to go try to buy it. I said, I hope you brought a lot of money.
I think Ashley's got.
Yeah, he's got enough.
Did you see which auction it was going to be at?
Huh?
Did you see which
I didn't
auction?
catch that.
He doesn't want any competition.
Right.
You should have seen JimJim and Ashley geeking out over firearms trivia.
Yeah.
Well, I explained to him how 5.77 450 machine Henry is the perfect caliber.
And he halfway agreed with you.
And anything after that is just a boutique ground flash in the pan. Here today, gone tomorrow. 30-06. How long was that going to last?
Of course, apparently Ashley believes about the 4570 the way JimJim believes about the 5.77 450.
Yeah.
I tried to explain to him that 4570 is not a rifle round; it's a mortar round.
Yeah.
Well, you're not wrong.
Well, so is a 4570.
It's got a ballistic arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Josh wants to know why you started the last show talking about pickle jars. That was 2 days ago.
Hell, 2 days ago. I don't remember.
No idea.
It could be because Edwards did not have any pickled eggs on the shelves at all.
Darn.
I didn't know how much you love them. Folks,
No,
folks, if you want
He
to get
lies.
Ian anything,
nope,
and if you feel like you should get him a gift, get him pickled eggs. He loves them.
no, he doesn't.
Loves them.
You will be donating them to the trash pad at the local range, so I'll take them out and put a round through them because I hate the bastards.
If you can find the big industrial sized jars of pickled eggs, because he goes through them a lot.
No, he does not.
Josh, the inspiration for the old lady with the gun in the Gray Man series is actually based on a real gun. It's called a Gonzalez gun. And it was literally a family-owned gun traced back to a Texas Ranger with Company B.
Lone Wolf Gonzalez.
Lone Wolf Gonzalez, yes. And it had been in his family for many, many years. And yes, it did get shot every month to clear out the cylinder and be reloaded. And
Like
when
you
it,
do.
and
Like
when
you
it
do.
went to auction, it sold for $975,000.
Ranger guns with provenance
Yeah.
are
And that one had
licensed to coin money.
all the provenance.
Yeah, that's licensed to coin money.
Well, didn't they have a photograph or an old tintype of him actually holding it?
Yes.
Which is the kicker.
Apparently, just by every photo of him, you can see it's either in the holster or he's holding it.
And Sean says, replace the spring on 38 Police Special. Now it's much better. Yes.
It happens. Springs are disposable items, folks. In your firearms,
They
they wear out. And what's that place?
Wolf Springs.
Wolf Springs is your friend because they have if your spring goes kablooey, they've got a spring to replace it.
Not only do they have replacement springs, they tend to be a better quality overall.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, even factory springs.
Yep. And Sean says, yep, that's where I got mine. Yep.
I swear by Wolf for when I do AR builds.
Yeah.
I'll get
Well, every time a spring goes south on one of mine, Wolf is what replaces it. And my favorite little SP101, every spring in there has been replaced with Wolf spring.
And folks, springs don't wear if they're in compression. They don't wear if they're slack. They wear when they move.
Yep.
There's a hysteresis that a spring goes through as it's being worked.
Yep.
That's where they wear. So if you load your magazines and 20 years later you're surprised that the magazine still works, it's because there's no wear on the spring for 20 years. Sorry.
Yeah. There may be a problem getting the last round out of the magazine, but
well, the spring will take a set, but it's not wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other story that we were batting around yesterday was George Farr, Dad Farr. And for those that don't know who that was, George Farr was 62 years old in 1921 when he went to the national matches as a member of the Washington State group. He had never fired long distance, quote, for competition. Went up there, the first day drew a 1903 Springfield off the rack. Didn't shoot worth a shit. The second day, he was in the last shift at 4:30 in the afternoon. Picked up a different 1903 Springfield off the rack. Went out and proceeded to shoot 71 bullseyes in a row at 1,000 yards with open sights.
Yep.
And was going to put the rifle in the rack and go home. His competitors paid the money to buy him the rifle and have a plaque put on it. The next year, the civilian rifle trophy was named the Farr Trophy.
2 R's.
Huh?
2 R's.
2 R's.
PH, isn't it? PHRR or FAR?
FARR.
Okay.
So quite the story, and it's the classic one old man and a gun.
It was
But the metallurgy back then, I'm not surprised that 2 factory-produced Springfield 1903s shot that differently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would bet the one that he grabbed was a Starburner.
Well,
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been simply the differences in in production.
Yeah,
Could have been a Wednesday gun.
But as Josh said, the old man who made all the professionals stand around in shock. Yep.
Yesterday, the Wake, I guess, the Remembrance.
Yeah.
Was classic Texas. We had it at a burrito shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We had it in a burrito shop.
I can remember sitting around the hobo fire.
Yeah.
At Bloggerado talking with the guy we had the memorial for,
Johnny.
and I just remember we just talking for hours, and he had that look on his face. He can give the one where he said that look that said, "You're a special kind of stupid, ain't you?"
Yeah.
When he was looking at me, so I miss that guy.
Yes, Josh, the Farr gun is still around. It is now owned by the NRA. It was donated by the Farr family.
Isn't it on display in
Yeah,
the
it's on display.
Chantilly Museum?
No, it's at a different museum, and I don't remember where it is.
Okay. I could have sworn I saw it at the Chantilly Museum.
For those
It was there the year that you came out when I was still in DC. It was there.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We saw it that day.
For those of you who don't know, the NRA canceled the annual meeting in Houston.
Yeah, I told him that Tuesday.
Did you?
Yeah,
That
Because
shows how much I remember. 2 days ago. Remember 2 days ago?
we were focused on the following day mostly, that on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, no kidding.
Moving on to sadder and worse news. The stupid in Kabul has gotten worse.
Yeah.
4 Marines are dead, 3 are injured in quote unquote unexpected suicide bomber attacks.
The Kappa variant device.
Yeah.
Not the Delta variant, not the Gamma variant, and the Kappa variant devices.
Well done, sir.
The,
My question is, the ficus in chief has been yipping for quite a while about how the Americans can't go outside the airbase because it would void the agreement that we have with the Taliban. Well, now that the agreement has been voided on the other side, can we finally go outside the base?
well, the,
Go ahead.
the CIA and certain troops have already been going outside. the
Well,
base.
Well,
yes. But
the CIA has been talking about the Taliban, which makes the Taliban an apostate to ISIS and what's the other one? Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda and the Haqqani network.
But it's
The part I find interesting is supposedly the Haqqani network is in control of security for Kabul airport. If that's true, they're ISIS.
they're ISIS-K.
They're ISIS-K.
Kappa variant, yes.
So why were there suicide bombers hitting the airport unless it was approved by and directed by the Haqqani network security people?
I'm curious because it was kind of apocryphal in Afghanistan that the villagers knew the IED or the hit was coming before our troops did. I wonder if those areas of the area around the airport suddenly emptied out.
No, it didn't. Apparently it didn't because I saw a whole bunch of video and pictures of injured civilians.
Yeah, those are civilians who are trying to get out. They're trying to get through the gate.
Oh,
Or they're hunkered down in that hotel. I'm wondering if
the locals living there.
yeah.
And something we'll never know.
Yeah, Taliban, yes, Sarah, you're correct. The Taliban is saying ISIS did it. But the Haqqani network is also Taliban, and they are the controllers of security. Yeah, it's
Haqqani or ISIS-K, period. They may claim Taliban, but the Haqqani network and Taliban got into a major dust-up. They're competing for the same water hole.
Yeah.
On the plus side, Afghanistan is devolving into such a shit show that it doesn't matter that Russia and China have recognized the Taliban as a legitimate government, because there won't be a government in a couple of weeks.
No kidding, right?
And so now what happens now is you start making agreements with local chiefs.
Yeah.
And we'll buy if you let us mine here, we'll pay.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
The Chinese are fixing to find out that they bought a pig in a poke here.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm really wondering if ISIS-K and Al Qaeda aren't looking at Afghanistan as their new caliphate, where they got kicked out of Syria. I'm wondering if they're about to try to take over Afghanistan.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
That's going to be fun.
I mean, well, ISIS is all about meeting the Quran's requirements for a caliphate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering if they've settled on Afghanistan as their new caliphate.
yeah.
And the Taliban's not going to have. They're not going to put up with that crap.
Oh yeah, like I said, there won't be a government in 2 weeks.
Oh, you're not kidding.
It's just
Well,
gonna be,
you're not going to have a government. You're not going to have anybody run the power plants. You're not going to have anybody run water plants.
Nope.
You're not going to have anybody run the telephone systems.
yeah. I mean, Afghanistan's going to end up back in the 8th century again, like they were before
no
we showed
kidding.
up.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have 5 digits worth of, including 24 students.
Oh,
Well, that was a great one
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah.
continue on that one while I go get something.
Discovered yesterday that apparently San Diego County School Board reported that 24 of their students from kindergarten up through high school had gone to Afghanistan and were trapped there. Were trying to get out with their families. 16, well, not families, 16 adults who were chaperoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got all these kids, and then we start doing a deep dive. And it turns out that they're there on special military visas, which means that the adults that are chaperoning the kids are translators that got out earlier.
Translators or other personnel who work directly with the U.S. military.
Yep.
Right. Well, apparently, for reasons known only to God and the Grim Reaper, decided it was a good time to go back and take the kids to visit grandma.
So we have first generation Afghani Americans, the parents,
Mhm.
and second generation Afghani Americans, the kids, on U.S. passports with visas that just are screaming red sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At Taliban.
a stamp on the passport saying special military visa.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's,
And I'm thinking, yeah, those middle school, junior high girls, they're fixing to get killed.
no, the middle school and younger girls are going to get handed off as brides.
Well, they're used to being in California,
Yeah.
and if the California slips out, I got my rights,
Yeah.
they're going to get killed.
Yeah, you made peace treaty with the dog band of the other tribe, not with the eagle band of our tribe. Therefore, it doesn't count.
Yep.
Pretty
What,
much.
Standard.
what's got me going is when did these bombings happen?
8 hours ago?
8 hours ago?
Yeah.
We have yet to hear from the president.
Of course not. And he has also left the Israeli delegation standing in the hallway in the White House.
He's
Apparently, Pelosi, as soon as the news came out, decided shut down the House and buggered off to California.
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
Apparently, the Dems have abandoned, as soon as this news came out, started fleeing Washington like rats coming off a sinking
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
And I use that metaphor on purpose.
Let me run this down. You
dear.
started it.
Oh,
I'm
dear.
going to finish it. Since 2001, the U.S. has given at least this list of assets to the Afghans.
Oh, you're going to make me have an aneurysm.
Yeah.
2,000 armored vehicles, including Humvees and MRAPs.
These are up armored too.
Yeah.
So these are the latest versions.
75,989 total vehicles, including M35s, medium tactical vehicles, Ford Rangers, Ford F-350s, Ford vans, Toyota pickups, Hiluxes, and armored security vehicles.
The Hilux is the only ones that are still to be running in 3 days.
Yeah.
Anyway.
45 Blackhawks.
Oh, for
Mhm.
fuck's sake.
50 MD-530s, Scout attack helicopters.
These
The
are
little birds?
Yes.
these are based 160th loved them. These are based off the Hughes 500 folks, not the Jet Ranger. It's a better helicopter.
Yeah.
The little birds.
And they were down in Kandahar.
Mhm.
Oh, God.
30 military versions, Cessnas, quote.
So these
They're
tend,
the Auburn.
these tend to be caravans, which are single engine fixed gear Cessnas that can carry anything you can put through the doors. And if you've got a cargo pod underneath,
Yeah.
it'll carry that as well as whatever you fit through the door. And these things are big.
In addition to the 23 Pilatus, 4 C-130s.
Those aren't flying anymore. I guarantee it. They take too much maintenance.
29 Brazilian-made Super Toscano ground attack aircraft.
Those things are great.
Most of which have been flown out of the country already.
Super tubes.
I'm wondering about all the Afghan Air Force pilots that were over here for training. What are they doing?
They're scrambling. They're not going back.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out some way to stay.
At least 600,000 small arms.
Which have yet to show up on eBay. I keep looking.
1,400 M203 grenade launchers
With ammo.
with ammo, 130 M134 miniguns, 20 millimeter Gatling guns, and 61,000 M203 rounds. 20,000
Sounds like a
grenades.
good party, doesn't it?
Sounds like a hell of a party.
Yeah.
Howitzers, mortars, plus thousands more.
Howitzers range anywhere from
105.
I was thinking 80 millimeters to start, so they've got some small ones, all the way up to the 155s.
Yep.
Don't they have some SPs too?
Yep. 162,000 pieces of encrypted communications gear.
Oh God.
Not communications, the gear.
Yeah.
This means that every one of our ciphers from the frequency hopping private with his radio with
Yeah.
KRC to the embassy level encryptions are now compromised.
Yeah, all the way
Every
up
single one of them.
above TS level. Yes. 16,000 night vision goggles. Newest technology night vision scopes.
The micro night vision scopes.
Mhm.
Yep. Thermal scopes and goggles. 10,000 2.75 air and ground rockets. Folding fin aerial rockets.
These are
I will note, those are not very accurate.
Oh no.
those are fire and forget.
Yeah.
They don't have really any guidance at all. So.
Yeah, they may. I mean, there are pictures of them being fired during Vietnam, and you see 10 of them going straight, and the other 5 are going, nah.
Well, they were notorious in Vietnam for having a high failure rate.
Yeah, because
So
one fin would never unfold.
So
They volley fired them.
the Air Force would standard procedure with
Yeah.
the volley fire.
Reconnaissance equipment, unspecified, ISR.
God, I hope it's those stupid 125 Kawasaki bikes because those things are crap.
Yeah, no kidding.
Laser aiming units.
That's if you fire.
The Atfields.
If when the Apache fires its Hellfire, the entrenched grunt can paint what he should have,
With the Atfield.
and he never sees it coming.
But there is a but. That means now the bad guys have all the codes.
Yes. How many Apaches did they get?
Supposedly none.
Yeah.
Har, har, har.
Yeah.
Explosive ordnance, including C4, Semitex, detonators, shape charges, thermite, incendiaries, AP, API, and APIT.
All that C4 is some rag-wearing, goat-humping infidel.
Remember, folks, a quarter stick of C4 will lift a VW bug 50 feet into the air.
That sounds awfully specific.
Well,
Administration.
there are videos.
Yeah. Administration encrypted cell phones and laptops, all of which were operational.
Yes.
Multiple millions of dollars in U.S. currency on pallets.
I want one of those pallets.
Yeah.
Give one of those pallets. I'm not greedy.
Millions of rounds of ammunition, including but not limited to 20,150,600 rounds of 7.62 and 9 million rounds of 50 cal.
Remind me to revisit the ammo things when you get done.
Handheld interagency detection equipment and biometrics. Both the readers and the.
I wasn't an interpreter. Look into the retinal scanner. Oh, you were.
Yeah. And you know there's a pipeline of this stuff just flowing towards Russia and China right now.
Well, there's that one valley in the northeast that's trying to hold out.
Yeah, the remnants of the ANA and the chieftains there who know that they're going to get killed by the Taliban because they're apostates anyways.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking Toad 155 headed up that way,
Yeah.
and that entire valley's toast.
Yeah, the kill radius on a 155 is the width of the valley.
Yeah.
So they just have to march one round.
Right down.
Yeah. Yes, Josh, at the current going rate, that's $500 million of 50 BMG.
Yes.
All paid for with your taxes. You're right, Sandra.
There was, I'm not going to say there weren't any. Under the Biden administration, there was absolutely no plan to get rid of any of this, other than leave it for the for whoever showed up.
I think
it
they
worked so well in Iraq.
Yeah.
I think they were hoping they were leaving it for the Afghan National Army.
I don't think they had a plan.
I'm hoping.
I'm thinking they told the E6 armorer guy, "Hey, lock the door and get over on your airplane." And
Yeah. They did.
Yeah. Anybody remember reading John Ringo's Centurion?
Oh,
yes,
I'm about to dust off my copy and go back through that.
Yeah.
And the next time I see John, I'm going to buy him a bourbon and smack him for being
I
accurate.
just wish we had that major and a platoon's worth of M1 Abrams. We could have rolled through Afghanistan and destroyed all this shit.
Yeah. Thankfully, they didn't get any Abrams.
Yeah, no kidding there.
You know, I think that's only because the
Oh,
terrain.
thanks, Dawn. Just
was
rub
rough.
it in. She's sitting in Amarillo at Doug's barbecue getting lunch.
You're at Doug's?
Yeah.
Ah.
You're going the wrong way. You're supposed to be bringing us lunch in there. Damn.
Ah.
Yeah, Josh, you're pretty much right. This is all about Biden and his lack of capability.
So
The other interesting thing that I noted this morning, again, early video, either a Brit or a German heavy lift military airplane taking off Kabul. As soon as they rotated and got gear up, they started spitting flares.
Spit flares? Yeah.
And this is not the first time that's happened.
remember about a decade ago, this was how you got in and out of Baghdad.
Oh yeah.
You came into Baghdad and you literally got over the airport above the handheld rocket envelope. Then you did this death spiral, spitting flares, and kind of level the wings right as your wheels touch down.
Yeah.
It's just, and this is how they're getting out of Kabul.
Well, if I saw,
Thankfully, I made that approach in a P-3, not the goddamn back of a C-130.
That would have been fun.
I could have
No.
sworn I saw a video of what I could have sworn was a C-17 taking off from Kabul and spitting flares.
Yeah, I saw that Monday,
The
yeah.
very first, I think the first day.
Yeah,
they
that
said.
was the first day.
Yeah.
It's just. So, anyways, about the ammo, and I hate to change the subject really quick this far, but
No, you don't.
the Biden administration has said that it's not going to renew any contracts for importing Russian ammo, right?
Yeah, we talked about that last week too, or Tuesday.
Did you see the letter that came out of SGMO last night?
No.
Okay, so he laid it out, and he's got the numbers. He's been doing this for 20 plus years, right? He says about 40% of the ammo sold in the United States, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 billion rounds, comes out of Russia.
40%?
Yeah,
Wow, that's a
and that's all calibers. The Warsaw calibers, 762 by 39, 545 by 39, 762 by 54R. But it's also 223, 308, 9 millimeter, 30, any kind of 30 carbine. All this stuff is, and our production, the U.S. production cannot pick up the slack. They just don't have the capability to pick up that much slack.
wow.
Yeah, so
Backdoor gun control?
Yeah.
You can have your gun if you can't feed it. What do we care?
yeah, exactly. So he said expect prices to go insane first, and then everything to dry up, starting with the Warsaw calibers. And then, but I mean, and he said 7.62 by 54R. He said you might not see, but 9 millimeter, any pistol round, including 45, 38, 357 Magnum, you're going to see skyrocketing prices because, again, 40%.
As if they haven't already.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, if the Europeans are smart, RUAG Amotech and RWS and the rest of the European
Oh yeah,
will ramp up and start importing ammo out the wazoo. because they'll make money hand over fist.
Yeah, well, the problem is all Biden has to say is, well, I just won't renew their contracts either.
Yeah.
Because, granted, GGD out of Lithuania, IMI out of Israel,
BD Duplex out of
all the Deutsch
Serbia.
stuff. Yeah. They've got
PMR.
PMR. They've all got the same kind of import contract because they are not U.S. nations.
Sellers and Beloit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh Jesus, Sellers boy. How much do they import?
That's another 20%.
Yeah.
Privy Partisan.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah. Well, Privy Partisan, the plant blew up last year, so that's why we saw the start of the lack of 380 and 38 special 9 mil.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they're
noticed.
huge in the pistol caliber.
I noticed on I use SG Ammo and Lucky Gunner. SG Ammo first and Lucky Gunner second.
Yeah.
I noticed back when I first started using them, if you click sort cheapest to, you go through 5 pages of Russian.
Yeah, before you ever got to the U.S. manufacturer.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, hashtag not sponsored, but right now he's got a free shipping for orders over $200 and flat rate $12 shipping for anything under $200.
Yeah.
SG Ammo?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Josh, one of the interesting things with Sellers and Beloit is in 9 mil and 45 both, the practice ammo is as snappy as the standard defense loads.
And smoky as hell.
And smoky as hell, yes.
I mean, I remember cranking off a 8-round mag of S&B 9mm 115.
Yeah.
And there was as much smoke as a 1800s saloon shootout. It's like, take a knife and cut a hole in the so you see the target.
Yeah, but all the steel case stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Well, the only bright spot beyond Russian trains, so to speak, is the fact that contracts that were unsigned can be re-signed if we can get somebody else in the freaking White House.
Right. But a lot of these contracts are because they don't last 4 years; they last 2 years.
Yeah.
A lot of these contracts are coming up this year.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, pretty much all the Russian contracts are coming up this year. China doesn't export any ammo.
No.
To speak of, because they're ramping up for a major land war.
I think they're only loading military calibers, and that's going straight to their military.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're ramping up for a land war. So
they're looking at Taiwan and slobbering right now.
They're looking at Southeast Asia. They're looking at Asia. They're looking at Mongolia. They're looking at Korea. They're looking at. I mean, it's
anywhere that has women.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
They're looking at anywhere they can produce food in large quantities, which is down through the Philippines.
The only thing that makes me
Don, I swear, when we get up there in the next couple of months, I'm going to hand you an empty Doug's bag because I'm going to eat it on the way.
The only thing that makes me giggle just a little bit is the thought of the Chinese getting frustrated with the rotating warlord problem in Afghanistan and invading Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me giggle.
Well, it's their turn.
Yeah.
Russians did it, then we did it. Now it's China's turn to get.
To be honest, Britain did it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Russia did it.
Well, I'm talking modern equipment. Okay, so
Well, technically, the Brits did it with modern equipment.
they
Ish.
did it
They used
around
firearms.
the turn of the 19th century. They
They used
didn't have
firearms.
tanks. They didn't have armored vehicles. They didn't have.
You saw like
Well,
cowboy.
artillery to
and
speak.
it's still, that whole area is the Brits' fault because they drew the lines this way
Yeah,
instead
no
of this way.
kidding.
Right. They drew them in such a way that they were sure they were going to have tribes that were
Fighting
traditional
each other.
enemies in the same country.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was the great game, and I still refer to it as a great game. The Cold War and Global War on Terror just being the latest chapters of the great game. The great game on the political side, rather than the military side, on the political side, has created more military problems
Oh, yeah.
because the great game or spycraft created Palestine, or excuse me, Israel.
well,
Yeah.
It created the central Middle East, Syria,
all of
Iraq.
the Middle East
Yeah.
was divided under the Great Game.
Yes.
Keep them at each other's throats.
Afghanistan was
Chesterfield.
Yeah. So that they keep
Or
if
not
you keep the
Chesterfield,
local
Chesterfield.
population at each other's throats,
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for us to administer the great empire that we have that's globally.
Yeah.
The
Josh,
sun never sets
that is-
out.
China's not going to be able to ship them out because they'll fight them like hell. Because they don't want to go to live with the Uyghurs because they're Christians.
Who?
The Uyghurs.
Uyghurs are Muslim.
They are not the standard Muslim sect,
Yeah, we don't know they're Muslim.
Yeah.
That's-
but they're more of a Christian-leaning Muslim than a
Are
Muslim.
they're not Coptic, are they?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They're not Coptic.
Anyway, and Sanford says, fighting for women is loot. I'd be down with that if I were single. These days, I might not survive the battle, not my wife.
Well,
We
there
tell
Your
are
wife would, off you in a heartbeat.
there are some stunningly beautiful Afghani women. There really are.
I'm waiting for it to spread to the Nordic countries before I get involved in that.
Yeah.
But guaranteed, if it spreads to the Nordic countries, I'm all about loot at that point.
Hey, Vince, you missed another cluster today. Sorry about that. And real life does raise its ugly head, whether we want it to or not.
Yeah, more and more these days.
I see they're using the typical Middle East ambulance.
Wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, you saw that. So literally, we've been gone for 15 days now.
Yeah.
And they're already
Back to the wheelbarrows.
wheelbarrows, no gurneys, none of that stuff. It's wheelbarrows and jackasses to carry people
That's
out.
the second wheelbarrow carrying a
Yeah.
body I've seen. Because the other one, the body was the other way around.
Yeah, RK says, as did the Indian mother who learned to shoot at 22, then taught other women. Honor killings ceased in that region of India. Yes.
I believe that there was a British Governor General, Sir Charles Napier, that had more to do with the whacking honor killings than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because he found it personally abhorrent and was the original or one of the original inventors of adapt, improvise, and overcome. Because he was told not to screw with local customs, so
Yeah.
he said, "Okay."
This is in India, by the way,
Yeah.
that he was doing this.
Not
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
No, Sir Charles Napier was the famous gentleman. He wrote a couple of books and treated the Indians far better than anybody else. One of the reasons he went down in flames was his insistence that local Indians, be educated, trained, and placed in officer positions over British, which at the time was, oh my God. And that's why he went down in flames.
The thing is, the Indians didn't have a problem with native officers over, like the Gurkhas,
Right.
or any of the native levies. But better than the Wogs. So
Well, he had a point. If you train a Sikh, you give him British education, send him to Sandhurst, there's no reason he can't lead a squad of British troopies.
Yeah.
right.
But Parliament lost their teeny tiny little minds. Anyway,
Talk about institutionalized racism.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, it's
He
like the
was the one-
Gurkhas, only make warrant.
He was the gentleman who, when there was the locals were about to burn a bride on the husband's funeral pyre, because as happens with organized religion, it had turned into a money-making racket for
Yeah.
the religion. He said, "Let us all follow our local customs. You may burn the widow as is your custom. I will have my men build a scaffold, and I will hang everybody who touches the widow as is my custom."
Yeah.
And the local religious bigwigs, who typically don't get their hands dirty, went,
Yeah.
"Oh, damn, him serious."
Yeah.
And that shit stopped because
Well,
he hung everybody that did it.
He did hang a few before
Yes.
they said, "Oh, I think he's serious."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Napier and Josh.
Sir
says-
Charles Napier.
Yeah, Josh says it's a relative of his.
Oh, well done. I'm jealous.
And Josh said, yeah, he give Jim the Polish llamas, and he's totally unsuitable for public and private appearances.
Polish llamas? Are you holding out on us?
Yeah, it's llama porn. Jim is llama porn.
I have the second largest collection of. That guy in Turkey has absolutely no standards. Okay, I'm just saying. You want quality?
You're,
Okay, that
you're
was-
along the wall.
That was JimJim getting a phone call that he ignored.
But Sir Charles Napier wrote, well, actually, his brother wrote his collected wisdom, and it's actually a really good read.
Yeah.
And the man was strikingly liberal for his time.
Classic liberal sense, not modern liberal.
But no, he said the Indian officers, well trained, are every bit as good as the British
Yeah.
ones, and they should be in charge of British troops. And Parliament went spare.
Well, we're seeing that now with Afghanistan.
No kidding, right?
You show a picture of the Taliban walking down the street,
Yeah.
and they've all got their fingers indexed off the trigger.
Yes, they do.
Every single one of them. Whether they're
Hell,
killing
the
them.
Taliban's got better muzzle and trigger control than half of the geezers at the local gun range.
Oh, I know. Well, it just makes you wonder if that wasn't the plan. The Taliban would join up, get U.S. training, and I mean, half the time they didn't show up after that, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, even the guys that weren't Taliban
Yeah.
wouldn't show up anymore.
You know, it's like what the Dems have accused the U.S. military of doing is training, domestic terrorists in the military so they can get out and go buy their AR assault weapon and then go kill people in the U.S.
Because AR stands for assault rifle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you
Doesn't.
that in the last 20 years of the global war on terror, the number of veterans who got really good training and got out, if they had decided to become domestic terrorists, we wouldn't know about it by now.
Yeah.
January 6th wouldn't have been a faux insurrection.
No, it
No.
wouldn't.
It's just
Washington, D.C. would look a lot like Kandahar right now, or Kabul right
Yeah.
now.
well, it's turning into a ghost town. If all the Dems are leaving, all the rats are jumping ship.
Apparently, they buggered off to their home. La la la! Don't
Yeah.
ask me anything, please God,
So
don't ask me
they're
anything.
getting ready to sell Biden cheap.
They can't sell until after the midterms.
He's not going to help them with the midterms now.
No.
They got to get rid of him before the midterms.
Well, the only issue is if they get rid of them before the midterms, they lose the Senate. Because it's straight up 50-50, and with the number of tie-breaking votes Harris has had to cast, the Republicans have got a little spine because she's had to come back and
There
cast
is
a
nothing in the
shit ton.
Constitution that says she has to pick from the Senate or the House.
No.
For the VP. So the 50-50 split remains.
Yes, it does. That's the issue.
Whoever she picks
Has to be
will
voted on.
become the tie splitting vote that she is now.
Only if they're approved by a majority vote in the
Yeah.
Senate and House.
They have to be approved by a majority vote.
And she won't be there to cast the 50-50 tiebreaker.
She will be there to cast
No.
the tiebreaker.
No,
As president, she is not.
once she ascends the presidency, which she does as soon as Biden's out, she's no longer the 50-50. She's no longer vice president.
She's no longer speaker. She's no longer
Vice president, who's the
Right,
tie-breaking
right.
coach.
right. But the chair she sits in the Senate isn't the vice president's chair.
Yes,
Yes, it
it
is.
is.
Yes, it is.
It's the vice president sitting in it, but that's not the title of that person sitting in that chair.
That is
Whoever
the
she-
only person that can tie break is the vice president.
Right. Whoever's sitting in that chair, doesn't matter if they've been approved or not, they're pro tem. Yes.
Nope.
I guarantee you. And the other side of that coin is, are you guys sitting here telling me that Pelosi's not going to wrangle a couple of rhinos into her camp on the vote? Please.
If she would do
Please.
that, Harris
guys-
wouldn't have to come
You
back.
guys
20 times.
are living a dream.
Harris wouldn't have to come back 20 times to cast tie-breaking votes on important legislation.
Right.
If Pelosi could have wrangled rhinos, she wouldn't have had to come
She's
back.
wrangling rhinos now on the budget bill and the $3 trillion
Because Harris
infrastructure bill.
had to come back and cast a tie-breaking vote
Yeah.
on that one too.
No, I guarantee. Well, are you gonna expend political capital on something that you can win with a tie-breaking vote? So great. They get rid of Biden. She's in the presidency. You guys are thinking that they're not going to still have their deep in their pocket Dem doing the tie-breaking vote on the Senate? Yeah, they will. I guarantee you, Pelosi will spend the political capital to get who she
By
wants
the
in that
25th
chair.
Amendment, but it does.
It doesn't. Yes, I understand the 25th Amendment. I'm telling you, politically speaking, Pelosi will spend the political capital it takes to put the person she needs in that chair to win.
All right, we can table that. how many Army officers were secretly Viet Cong? Quite a few, Jerry. One of the oddities was the head of the VC at Cameron Bay was the base barber. He was the head barber at Cameron Bay.
Didn't they determine that they had a program where they would take Viet Cong in as auxiliaries?
Yeah.
And the Viet Cong were using it because they were starving to death out in the field. They couldn't get enough supplies in. So they would come in this program, fatten up, and then leave again.
I forget what that was called. What was that called?
I can't remember, but it was kind of like, paid vacation. It was their R&R.
Yeah.
Chohoy. Damn it.
I thought it was was it Kit Carson?
Yeah.
Kit Carson Scouts were reformed BC, weren't they?
Yeah, they were reformed BC.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the program.
Reformed.
Well, I can't remember the Vietnamese term. I think it was Chohoy.
But
it was thank you, Richard.
JimJim's right. They would come in, fatten up, get some training, and scarper off as soon as they could.
It was their version of R&R.
Yeah.
R&R was better medical.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a strange time. We actually had an officer in our squadron that unknowingly married a high-ranking VC officer's daughter.
Oh my God!
Well, he was TA'd into Vietnam to handle Navy interactions, basically at the embassy.
At the desktop level.
Yeah, rolled back into the squadron, married this beautiful Vietnamese lady. And a number of years later, we happened to find out through some other intel that her daddy was the number 3 in the VC.
It's amazing.
Well, I know that after 20 years in Afghanistan, 18 years, that there's been at least a couple of Afghani war brides come back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how many of them, their daddies are pretty high up in Taliban or Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because if they'd have married an American, it'd been an honor killing.
Yeah. The way the Afghan culture and the Muslim culture view women, I don't think we have that as much of a problem as the VC, the VC of the high-ranking daughter type deal.
Yeah.
Because the Asian version, women had more equality. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not saying that there isn't an Afghan woman up there who is so completely
it was
programmed.
It was like our base in northern Japan in the mid-late 70s. The bar outside the front gate was owned by a North Korean spy. And it was literally on our in brief. If you go to this bar, the female owner will come and greet you. By the way, she is a North Korean spy. Please do not.
I noticed there's nothing about don't go there.
Yeah.
Hello, Madam Park. How's what you been doing?
Yeah.
The thing is,
you both have been in the military. You know the off-limits places were the places everyone went, okay, that looks like a fun place.
Well, they had the cheapest drinks and they had the liveliest parties. I'm just thinking that if there was a Taliban daughter plant married a USGI, and she's going to spy for the Taliban, the first time she walks into a Kmart, that would be the end of that. Yeah, that would be the end of that.
John does make a good point. Jim says, JimJim, it's how they are raised. They stick to that always. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Muslim is women are property. Why would you? I mean, they don't consider them worth anything.
Well,
why would you give them a worthwhile job?
Well, they won't. That's the thing. And, think about how many honor killings we've had here in the U.S. The 2 daughters that were killed 3 years ago, 2 years ago now down in Dallas.
Well, the one just across the border, Oklahoma, at the meatpacking plant.
Yeah.
That was an honor killing.
Yeah. And as far as those Middle Eastern men feel, they don't think they did anything wrong.
No, no,
they're well within their rights. By God, I'm the parent.
They're walking into a U.S. courtroom,
Yeah.
completely flabbergasted. And why am I here?
You know,
I
with
didn't
their
do anything
head
wrong.
up and shoulders back. It's
Yeah.
like, wow. You didn't learn anything when you got over here.
Well, remember our least favorite little shitbird?
Oh, what's his nuts with the towel?
Awadala.
Yeah.
You're the one that had the local imam against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The local imam thought he was full of shit. That was
Yeah.
great.
Who was accused of raping a 14-year-old.
Yep.
And said,
Bring
that's
her-
perfectly within my rights.
Bringing her across the Texas-Oklahoma border to do
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened. I wonder if he's still
I don't know.
dodging trial.
Probably. Well, he's got rape, the Mann Act, because
Yeah.
transporting a minor across state lines, so it's federal.
Witness intimidation.
Oh, she was underage.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
federal crime, federal prison. Pedophiles are not.
It's not. It kind of gets sticky for
Yeah.
weedy wagglers.
Yeah.
He was the one that he got pissed at Jim because Jim caught him ordering
Yeah.
non-halal food off of the honey buns, which were made with pork fat, and arranged with the imam to have his access to the jail commissary monitored him not allowed to buy stuff. Oh,
It
he
was that.
lost his tiny little mind.
It was that in the pork rinds.
Oh yeah.
Pork rinds. How can you not know?
Shook down his bunk and found 2 bags of pork rinds.
How can you
And
not
he
know?
actually was a Muslim.
I know.
Now
I
the
know.
other one that was the fake Muslim was doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just pork is in the title of the food.
Yeah.
He was Sudanese, Sudan,
Sudanese, yeah.
and he's got one of those punchable faces.
How did he
Yeah.
end up down here and not up in Minnesota where all the other Sudanese are?
If I were guessing, one step ahead of the law around the U.S. for a while. He kept
Actually-
signing his grievances, His Royal Highness.
I prefer to be referred to as Captain my Captain, but that's a different story.
If I remember right, his brand of Islam was one of the Nation of Islam offshoots.
Oh,
No, Steph, as far as we know, there has been nothing further on the woman that rescued the 11 girls.
Last I heard, she was going back to the rest of them.
Well, she was going back for the other 28, but that's dropped off the radar.
thank God. Because if she is going back, if she is actually going back, then it needs
Sticky time right now.
to be
Yeah.
off of the news so that
Yeah,
because
no kidding.
everybody around the world is getting their intel off of our news right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, Josh, Somalis have been scattered around all over the U.S.
There were a crap ton that went down road.
Yeah.
And they started listening to some really bad leftist advice. And every one of them was hired by a meat packing plant in Amarillo. And they told the meat packing plant that they were going to take a break 5 times a day to pray.
Not realizing that Texas is an at-will state.
And the meat packing plant says you get once, like same thing we do for everyone else. And they said, we're special. And Tyson said, we don't care. And last I heard, every one of them packed up and gone somewhere else.
Well, Tyson told them if you take a break, you'll pick up your last paycheck that day.
Yeah.
And the first group that did it, they picked up their last paycheck that day because it's an at-will state. And apparently the local fundamentalists forgot that you need to be in a state that requires unions, like California, to go away with that kind of shit.
Well, if I remember correctly, they'd come from California.
Yeah.
They landed in California, came out to Amarillo, and
They got away with
they
that shit in
sued.
California. Yeah.
That was the Catholic society.
that Catholic idiot.
Well, I mean,
And then, well, what the fun part was is the idiots in California who had given legal advice sued.
Yeah.
And Tyson said, we make religious for everyone, the same religious plan for everybody.
Yep.
Do you want us to, I've forgotten the word. To break the rules for one sect above another? And the judge went, that's a point. No, you can't treat one sect differently than, so
equal under the law.
yeah, your rule is good. And the California people went, and the Somalis went, you mean we don't get paid anymore? No.
No.
I think they went to Minnesota from
I
here.
think that was
Well, I mean,
Minnesota.
that's half of the squad.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah. RK, that's a damn good question, whether or not Omar is a member of the Hobber Getter sect.
Omar. The reason Omar got elected was because of all the Somalis in that area.
Yeah. Well, which clan is she? Sector clan.
Well, she
depends
she
on
probably buried that because there's enough mixture in the clans up there that if she said one, she would lose the other 75% or whatever the Somali vote. So
That's very possible.
It depends because if I remember right, Somali women marry their husband's clans. So if she's still married to her brother, then her clan hasn't changed.
Yeah,
if she's married to the other guy, then her clan has changed.
Well,
So
she's now married to her former IT guy.
who is not Somali?
Is he Muslim?
Wait, was that
No.
Omar or was that the other? Was that
No, that's Omar.
Okay, I thought Talib was the one that was having the affair with.
No, that was
God.
Omar.
Okay,
Oh God, that's
And we wasted another hour of your time, folks.
holy gods, we have.
we have.
Thank you very much for listening.
Sorry for going off on the rants.
Yeah, we keep saying we're going to talk about something other than the crap. going on over
Tuesday,
there.
we need to not mention Afghanistan at all.
Yeah.
I will start a clock.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I went off on that rant about the tie-breaking vote, but it's politics, and I guarantee you, the politics are in such a way that they're going to get what they want.
Yes, John, you're right.
The only way we'll find out is if it happens.
She was in the office illegally, and she was married to and sleeping with her brother. Hey, keep it in the family, you know.
Even in Somalia, that's frowned upon.
Yeah, the whole rats fleeing the sinking ship. They realize that Biden will not help them on the midterms.
Yeah.
So how do we? Who can help us the most?
Yeah. All right, folks.
Y'all be safe.
Have a good weekend. Be safe. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We'll see you later. Bye.
Hey, that was fun.